Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is just going to be a little crochet and chat. I'm working on a bag for one of my friends at church. I'm doing the same pattern that I did for the pink bag that I've been making, just using different colored yarn. It's coming out really cute, so that's what I'll be working on today. And I know normally I post my Temperature Blanket Tuesday videos today and my Everything I Crocheted This Week videos on Fridays, and I didn't have one of those up last week, but it has been a very rough last 6 or 7 days. So I'm going to go over all that with you guys and just give you a little bit of an update, and please excuse how tired I probably look. I am very tired. You guys will understand all that in a minute. So yeah, I hope you will grab a crochet project and crochet along with me, or just listen while you're doing dishes or something like that. So let's just get started. So on Friday in our area, we had some pretty severe storms, and it was really crazy because where I live in Kentucky, we do get severe weather a lot of times in spring, so that's nothing new. By the way, I got a new phone, thankfully, so my battery actually stays charged longer than a few hours, so I'm very thankful for that. But this phone does not have a headphone jack, and so I'm not able to use my microphone. So I'm going to be looking on Amazon for some Bluetooth microphones. So for the next few videos, the sound quality might not be as good, but hopefully you can hear me. If you put in headphones, if the sound quality sounds too low and you can't hear me too well, you can always put in headphones and that should help you hear better, but hopefully it's not too bad. Okay, so anyway, we usually have a lot of severe weather. I'm going to put my tripod down a little so you can see a little better what I'm doing. Okay. So, you know, we have tornadoes in our area, and different things like that in the springtime. But this was just a very unique storm. It was extremely windy, and it wasn't even really storming. Like, there wasn't a lot of lightning or thunder, and usually when storms come through, they blow through pretty quickly. But we had severe wind, like hurricane force wind, for quite a few hours, and it really did a lot of damage in our area. And so we lost electricity around 3:30 on Friday afternoon, and we did not get it restored until, what is today? Tuesday, until late Sunday night. So we were out of electricity for a full 2 days, is that right? Yeah, I think so. Sorry, this last few days has just been a blur to me. So we were out of electricity for a full 2 days. Thankfully, my mom, who lives down the road from us, she had electricity, so I'm very extremely grateful for that and for them and for all that they did for us during this time. But we did lose all of our food that was in the fridge that's in our kitchen and in the freezer. So, you know, that's a bummer because you think you have to throw away all your condiments, I mean everything. So thankfully though, we had just stocked up on some freezer food at Sam's, but we had it in a deep freeze out in our garage. And so we were able to save that food because it was still pretty frozen. And we were able to take that over to my aunt's house. They had some room in a deep freeze outside, so I'm very thankful for that. But in the midst of all that, my 10-year-old son, his name is Evan, he started getting sick. It's been like a week ago today, so last Tuesday. And my younger son had just gone through a similar thing right before, so having to use the bathroom a lot. My 4-year-old, it lasted on for him about 4 days, but the whole time he still had an appetite. His stomach would cramp up like before he went to the bathroom, but other than that, he was able to eat. He had a lot of energy. He never did physically get sick, you know. I don't want to be too graphic, but he recovered, you know, about 4 days, and he was fine. Well, then the next day, which would have been last Tuesday, my 10-year-old started with it. So at first I didn't think too much about it because, you know, my 4-year-old had just had the same thing, and I just thought, okay, well, it'll probably last about 4 days and he'll be okay. So, you know, time goes on, electricity goes out, so we have that added stress, and time just keeps going on, and I noticed that my son is not getting better, and he's already a very slim boy. He's very tall and very slim, and the fact, you know, that he's also very picky, so he doesn't eat, I feel like, enough anyway, but with him barely being able to eat, you know, he's just feeling weak and still was going to the bathroom several times a day, like every time he ate, and his stomach would hurt and everything. And so, you know, I just started to get worried after about day 5. So we took him to an urgent care on Sunday, and they, you know, she basically told me that it's probably a stomach bug, but that if he was to vomit or have severe stomach pain, that we just needed to go straight to the ER just to be safe, because they have access to different types of scans and things like that. So she did order a stool sample, which we did do and dropped off the following morning, which would have been yesterday. We haven't got those results back yet. But wouldn't you know, that night he did throw up. So we didn't know, though. He did it in the middle of the night, and didn't wake any of us up. So we found out the next morning, took him to the ER yesterday, and we went to the children's hospital that's near us, about an hour away from us actually, and they didn't do anything. You know, I thought they would at least do some sort of scan on his stomach just to rule out things like appendicitis or anything else. You know, the doctor said he didn't think it was bacterial, that it was viral, and at this point, he had had no fever the entire time. You know, they asked about that and sent us home and told us to follow up with the pediatrician. So, as you can imagine, I was thankful that they weren't thinking there was anything severely wrong, but I was also feeling very frustrated because now we'd been to urgent care, we'd been to the ER, and it just felt like we weren't getting any closer to getting answers on how to get him better. So anyway, you know, I just kind of prayed, you know, tried to put it in the back of my mind, like, okay, this is gonna run its course and clear up, and thankful he hadn't had a fever and all those things. And of course, a few hours after we get home from the hospital, I notice, you know, my son is just very lethargic, and which he has been this whole time pretty much. I mean, that's to be expected, but I noticed his cheeks were very flushed, and he was just very, very tired. And throughout this whole week of him dealing with this, he really hasn't slept a whole lot, you know, napped during the day like you normally do when you're sick. Well, yesterday he was, you know, falling asleep on and off, and I noticed his cheeks were really flushed. So I took his temperature last night, and it was almost 102. So I'm like, of course, we go to the ER. He hasn't had a fever this whole entire time, and then we come home from the ER, and he has a fever. And to be honest with you guys, I got very anxious. You know, I do struggle with anxiety. I've been treated for it over the last year, and I'm doing much better. I really haven't had any intense episodes of anxiety in a long time. But last night I was very, very anxious. I hate to say that because I want to just trust in the Lord and not be anxious. You know, I get on here a lot, and well, every time I do a video and read Bible verses to you guys, and verses like, do not be anxious about anything. But it was just really hard yesterday because I was, you know, we were all just tired from being in waiting rooms for hours, and, you know, just seeing your child sick is really hard. And when you feel like you don't have any good answers and things just don't seem to be getting better, they almost seem to be getting worse, it's just really hard. And my 10-year-old is one of the most inspirational people that I've ever met, and he prayed for me that I would not worry and said, Mom, can't we just trust in God? And the whole time that we were in our urgent care, or the urgent care on Sunday, he brought his Bible with him, and it's a comic book Bible that our family missions pastor at church gave to him because he loves comic books. And the whole time we were in urgent care Sunday for 3 hours, he was reading that Bible, and he was more patient than I was. And I'm just so proud of him. And just last night, just not knowing what's going on, and feeling his little body next to mine being so warm with the fever, I was just so anxious. My heart was just racing, and I woke up several times in the night to check his temperature again, and it had gone down a little bit. I'd given him some medicine. So this morning, he woke up and he said he felt good, that he slept good, but that he had been waking up a lot in the night to use the restroom. Last night he didn't, so that's a very good sign, but he woke up and still had a fever. And after he was up for a bit, I tried to give him some toast, and he still could barely eat it. Like right now it's almost 1 o'clock, and he had a few bites of toast, and that's it. And that just scares me. It just scares me. But anyway, I ended up getting an appointment this morning with our own family doctor, and I do really like our doctor, and he's very thorough. And so we went there, and he checked him out. They did a urine sample to make sure that he didn't have any markers for appendicitis or UTI. They tested him for COVID and flu. That was all negative. They did test him for strep at urgent care, and that was negative. And he basically agreed with the ER's assumption that it is a viral thing. And of course we are waiting for that stool sample to come back, and so that will tell us more. But you know, he just said over the last couple years that some certain stomach illnesses have started to last longer, and I just don't know how to feel right now. I still am having these bouts of anxiety that I'm wrestling with, and it's just really hard. So I would just ask that you guys would pray for him, that he would heal quickly, and that his little body could start to eat more and get stronger, and that this fever would go away. yeah, but anyway, so yeah, today I just don't know how to feel. You know, we've been now to an urgent care, we've been to an ER, we've been to our regular doctor, and it just feels like there's nothing that anybody can do. And but I will continue to pray, and that is something I can do, and I have to trust that God has him in his hands, and that no matter what happens, God is good, and everything we go through makes us stronger people. And that's what I've been telling Evan, that, you know, going through all this is going to make him a stronger person. I just noticed that my camera looks tilted again. I'm so sorry. I just don't have the mental energy right now to do a whole lot and make things more perfect the way that I'd like them to be. So I hope that you guys still are somehow enjoying this video. So anyways, I don't know when my schedule will be able to get back to normal, just with everything going on, but I'm gonna post, you know, when I can. And I think that I've been keeping track of everything I've been working on, which hasn't been a whole lot. I haven't really crocheted a lot over this last week, just with everything being thrown off, with the electricity going out and all that stuff. So I think what I'm going to do for March is, if I finish objects or want to come on and show you some of my whips, you know, I'll do that throughout the month. But then I'm going to do a big everything I crocheted in March video. So I've been keeping track on my phone of projects that I complete. And so at the end of March, I will make a big video showing everything that I finished. And like I said, I will do whips videos here and there, so you guys can kind of be updated on what I'm working on. I think that will just be a little easier for me this month, with everything we have going on. And I do need to go to Hobby Lobby and pick up a few things, some yarn for my temperature blanket, and so I will have some hauls coming up. I've been wanting to go back to Dollar Tree and see if they have added any of the new items that I've seen other people show in their videos. So I should have a Dollar Tree video coming out. And a lot of you all said you like these crochet and chat videos, so I may do a few more of those this month. So I will definitely still be posting. It's just that I won't be able to be doing like the regular videos for a bit as consistently as I was. For the temperature blanket, I have to catch up. I haven't done any for this last week. So hopefully next Tuesday I will be able to update you, like a 2-week update. But I just want to thank you guys so much for sticking with me, and that's one of the great things about YouTube, is that you do have freedom to change things up if and when you need to. And I just want to thank you all so much for your support of me and my family. It means so much to me, and your prayers mean so much to me. So I really hope that you know that, and I pray that you'll stick with me through all different seasons on this channel, because things are ever changing in the world and in my life and in all of our lives. So I just pray that you all will stick with me, even though things may be just a little different for a bit. So the verse I want to share with you today is Proverbs 3 verses 5 through 6, and it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight." And the reason I chose this verse is because even though I have been dealing with anxiety, I know that in my heart I trust God. And even though my flesh, my humanness, has these emotions, I can still, in my mind, stand firm on the truths of God's word, and I can declare that God is faithful and that he is trustworthy, and that my understanding is limited and his isn't. And even though I'm here worried about my son, God knows how this situation is going to end up, and he's not worried. And I can trust in that, and I can trust that he loves me and he loves my kids, and that no matter what happens, we're in his hands. And that gives me a lot of hope. And I know that, as it says, you know, he will make straight our paths. You know, he's leading and guiding us, and I know that I've done everything that I can to help my son, and I just have to trust that God is healing him and has him in his hands. So that's the verse I wanted to share with you all today. If you're dealing with anxiety, know that you're not alone. If you're a Christian that deals with anxiety, please know you're not alone. For years, I was involved in a certain theology that a lot of times doesn't have room for mental health, and kind of makes you feel like if you have mental health struggles, that it means that you are doing something wrong, pretty much, or not having enough faith. And I just don't believe that that's what the Bible teaches anymore. I believe that even people in the Bible went through mental health struggles, even people who were very close to Jesus, and even Jesus exhibited things of anxiety, like right before he went to the cross. And I know that we are humans, and just like any other part of our body can get sick, our brains can sometimes get a little sick, you know, or they're just a little out of whack, and our emotions can be out of whack, and Jesus understands that. And as long as we don't let that run our life, and we always strive to be back in a healthy place mentally, you know, we just have to trust that he understands, and he's going to help us to get through these times. And all the times that I've had like this, where I'm struggling more with my anxiety, I've always been able to come out on the other side and be more thankful when I'm in a better place. And I always have a little bit more, another page added to my testimony that I hopefully can use to help others and bring them to know the Lord as well. So again, just thank you all so much for your support, and please pray for my son, that he will heal and be able to eat and get more strength back in him. And just thank you guys so much that you're here when I'm full of joy and enthusiasm. You're here when I'm a little more on the downside, which thankfully doesn't happen too often. But it's nice to be able to come on here and just talk with you guys about what's going on in my life, and to know that I will get support and prayers. It just is such an amazing community, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it. So anyways, I pray you have a great rest of your day, and that you're having a much better week than I am. And I know there's always someone out there that has it worse. So if you are going through something even crazier right now, I pray for you that you will have peace of mind and guidance in all situations. So may God bless you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.